Hello everyone, my name is AP the Weird One, and we are back with another episode review for Yandere Dark Elf. She Chased Me All the Way from Another World, episode 2. In this episode, we are given a proper introduction to a beautiful young lady. Sakura Mochita. Yes, a fine young lady. We saw her a little bit briefly in the first episode, but now we give a better look at her. And she is a fine, exquisite beauty. But before we talk about the episode, we need to talk a little bit about our girl, Mariabelle. So something that I probably didn't discuss in the last episode was, and more so this episode, Mariabelle has really beautiful eyes. Like, her really yellow eyes are very sexy and cute, but they also give a bit of dangerousness. Like, they definitely get off the Yandere vibe. They're done very excellently. On top of that, she definitely, when she goes into her Yandere mode, like, I am going to kill something, you are my precious being. Like, they do a very good job of animating it. And I'll show a picture from this week's episode that was exceptionally well. One of the better moments. Didn't have the aura, but just had a good moment. So anyway, in terms of manga chapters, this one covered 3 and 4 to be expected. And in terms of missing information, there's just a couple details, nothing too major, but our main girl, Mariabelle, she's, I guess even Sonara, our main protagonist, they've only been back for about, no. Her, Mariabelle, because we know, protagonist's been back a month, but Mariabelle's only been living there for about a week. And in the meantime, she's been reading a lot of books. And in the manga, she's absorbed all the books, like she's really has like a photographic memory, and she's also been watching a lot of television, and she just retains a lot of the information, and she really likes it. You know, Sonahara comments like, "Oh man, she's super smart." Especially since she got to this world by herself. And the other little detail is we learned that elves are very sensitive to people's emotions, and so Sonara wants her to go out and like meet people in public or whatever, but she's like, it doesn't only do much for me. Like, the emotions really affect me. So, I would rather not be around these people, be around them, especially if they have any negative emotions. In the manga, they mentioned that it's why that the majority of elves don't really live with humans. So there's that couple minor details. Nothing too major. Like last week's episode, I think there was a little bit more that could have been done, but that's only the big missing things. Now, we do get some bonus stuff. First off, in the first episode, our main character, he's kind of in his bed, and Mariabelle has fallen on top of him, and they're about ready to get up, and he's like, you should go get changed. And she immediately starts undressing in front of him, and in the manga, the thing that's a little bit different is we see it from the back that she undresses, but here we see the full frontal view. We see her beautiful nipples and everything. It's nice. It's a nice moment. But following that, we get the introduction. And for those who watch the uncensored version, or wanting to, the intro doesn't censor things, but I did find something a bit clever, though. So they're doing I believe these are probably the voice actress or the credit scenes in the very beginning. They use her boobs as a nice placement. I thought it was a kind of a funny touch. It's like, hey, there's some, I can use these booba for some, placement for our characters, dialogue, whatever. Get a nice place. Just something to point out. But yeah, so from there, he's going to go to school. And one of the funnier things, it's a more misconception on my part, is when she's kind of burying him, I thought this was a love hickey of sorts. I'll show a little bit better, but yeah, I thought this was a hickey at first, like some kind of hair hickey. I'm like, it's kind of shining purple and everything, and she has the purple aura, so maybe she did something in his hair. Yes, it looks like a piece of paper, but I thought it was some weird hickey at first until it disappeared. We find out later this is basically a monitoring device for Mariabelle. It's about like halfway through the day, and she's like, I'm gonna peer into this, see what my lovely Sahara is doing. She also has a plushie of him that I believe she personally made. I think that's new for this episode. But yeah, and then when she smiles, we get a bit of an introduction to her. We obviously the first shot of her we see is her beautiful white underwear, which we see a little bit of crotches. It's nice, but there's a better moment later. But yeah, Mariabelle gets very jealous. She is gonna want to go apeshit on this woman. You want to have a fun time of her life. But I gotta say, when you see her properly in this episode, I was starting to realize that Sakura is a fine woman. She is very beautiful, and if our main protagonist wanted to have two waifus, have some chocolate ice cream and some vanilla ice cream, this lassie is very good, very fine woman. She's very beautiful. She got nice short hair, same age, 16, everything. Very good looking women. But yeah, she's the library assistant. She's out, and Sonara being a good man he is, helping books away, and just those accents happen on these etchy anime. You know what that means. But yeah, so she sees this like I'm gonna do something to her, and when our man gets back, he gets confronted, and this is kind of one of those moments where her tsundere or yandere moments, like she's got the creepy eyes and everything. They do an exceptionally good job in this anime, but she realizes that in order to make her pay, he's gonna go to school, and of course Sonara's actually not opposed to this because gets out of the house, go meet people, everything. It's a good, fine thing. Now, we do get a little extra bonus scene, folks. See, we saw this in the manga. The stereotypical, someone is thinking about you and you get the shivers or you sneeze suddenly, and it happens. And this happens in the manga, but she's walking home from school. Well, the anime is like, we gotta get the fan service. Listen, we just can't have two scenes. We need a third scene, and we gotta honor the boys. Yeah, we have a bath scene with her, and I've censored it out for YouTube. But yeah, you can see her nice little pink nipples, very small, but still very nice. You get to see the fine booba of our lovely lady, second fiddle girl, and fine hair. She looks like in the bath, she kind of looks a bit ripped or whatever. It just kind of like the eyes and the angled everything, but yeah, she's got a nice, solid big boobies. I'm a big fan of it. No feet in this episode, no feet from her, but it'll come in the future. We're no rush. Besides, we got Mariabelle's if you want to go look at it. Anyway, so she sneezes while in the bathroom because she's being talked about, and then following the next day, Mariabelle gets to school. Everything is hunky dory, and I gotta say, I'm not gonna show it, but Mariabelle, she feels up Sakura, and you see her beautiful right under her, and it's like, damn, all right. And you see the outlines of her butt, and like, that's a scene, all right. And you could argue the manga makes her butt a little bit bigger, but that's just probably perception. Anyway, the long story short, she's about to kill her, and the main protagonist, a good guy, Sonari's like, no, stop it, and she realizes that she realizes she's making a mistake, and she runs away. And the happy conclusion is that when she realizes that Mariabelle is an elf, she wants to be her best friend, teach her, tell her about magic and everything. And the funny thing is, Mariabelle is very, very feminine towards our main protagonist, Sonara, but when she's confronted by Sakura, she acts very cool and calm, calm female. Like, let's be friends and just, hold your horses, sweetheart. Like, let's take it nice and slow. She acts very adult and professional, and like, it's like a bit of a weird contrast. Like, lovey-dovey towards husbando, but other females, let's just be, friendly, keep it real. Be the cool girl. I'd be the more mature one in this case. But yeah, that's the end of the episode. A lot better from last week. I think the animation's a little bit better. And of course, we saw some nice booba from our beautiful young lady. We saw some of her fine artwork of her underwear. It wasn't like sexy underwear, but the angle and everything, and how Mariabelle fills her up. Like, it was just a good moment. Yeah, we got her. The first episode was a wash. The second episode brought it home. We got some good stuff, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the season. It doesn't need to be super long. It can just be, it could be like the nice short episodes. And if you want a little bit more, there's a cartoon bit, but I believe the uncensored version didn't have it translated yet, so maybe you gotta search for some others if you want it. It's a different art style. Take it as you will, but yeah. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Hopefully you have a wonderful day. The next anime review is going to be the Demon Hunter one, so we'll see what that has in store for us. Anyway, catch you guys later. Hopefully you have a good morning and a good afternoon. See you guys next time.